Welcome to the System Simplified podcast, where we feature top leaders who share stories on how to successfully systemize a business. Now, let's get started with the show.
Hello, Adi Klevit here, the host of the System Simplified podcast, where I feature top founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders about systematizing a business. And today's episode is being brought to you by Business Success Consulting Group, where we create, document, and implement processes and procedures so businesses can grow and thrive. And I am so excited about today's guest, Andrea Heuston. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Adi. It's good to see you.
It's so good to see you. So, Andrea, how am I going to even introduce you? Andrea is such an amazing person. I mean, she is the CEO of Artitudes. She is the force behind Lead Like a Woman movement, which we're going to talk about. She's a podcaster. I've been honored to be a guest on your podcast. It was a great episode. And by the way, it was absolutely. And we have to say thank you and big shout out to Jeremy Wise, who introduced us. Rise25, who produces both of our podcasts. You're a podcaster, you're a speaker. You know, you are so active in the entrepreneurs organization in EO. You are running your company. You're a survivor, a coma survivor. You are a 3-time bestseller author. You have to read Andrea's books. I mean, they will, but be prepared. You know, I needed my Kleenex in order to read those books. They're so personal, but they're so good. And, you know, you're just like a real entrepreneur, always looking for the next adventure. And we're going to talk about that. You're a true visionary. Did I miss anything from your bio?
No, in fact, I sound way better than I am, I swear. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You are so welcome. So, Andrea, tell us a little bit about your journey, your entrepreneurship journey, and how you got to where you got today. I know you have a great story to tell. So I'd like to hear a little bit, I'm sure our listeners as well, a little bit about the story behind of how you got to where you are today.
Well, let's see if I can do a shortened version, because I've owned a business now for 28 years. So
she started when she was 5. What can we say?
That's right. Right. I wish, right? So, you know, I started my business because I was laid off. I had been working at a company since I was 17. Yes, 17. In a creative role where I was running the creative services department after about 8 years. I had started running that department earlier. They were purchased by a French firm. I came in on a Monday. I was asked to lay off my team. Let me just explain that I was 24 years old. I'd never in a million years thought I would have to lay off a team. So my manager sat with me and we laid off the first person. Then I did the rest, the whole team. And then the next day I went in and they laid me off. And guess what? I never saw it coming.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 days later, I was licking my wounds and trying to figure out what to do. This is pre-internet. I wasn't sitting on a phone playing a game because that didn't exist. And they called me and asked me to come back and bring one of my teammates. They said, you know, we forgot we have to roll out a brand change from the head company now that's in Europe. And we need you and one of your team members to do that. And I said, I'll call you tomorrow. I drove myself to the state capitol because, again, no internet. And I got myself a business license. Called them back the next day and said, sure, we're coming back. I'm going to bring this person and you'll be paying me through my company. Well, that's how my company Artitudes was born, because a lot of people who were laid off went to this tiny little software company up the street that had 6 buildings at the time called Microsoft. And my phone started ringing. So the company started there. 10 years later, I incorporated the company and started hiring employees. And we are now 28 years in as of August 5th.
Congratulations. Amazing. You're
Crazy.
Definitely a survivor.
I am a survivor, I would say. Never a victim, always a survivor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and now you're starting a new adventure, right? Because you're always creating, always starting new things. So tell us about the new adventure in your life right now.
Yes, I'm excited for this new adventure. So 3 years ago, we're going to back up a little. I went to something called the Regional Leadership Academy for Entrepreneurs organization in Hawaii. And it was end of February of 2020. And all of a sudden, the world was starting to shut down. And because I live in Seattle, we were ground zero for COVID in the United States. I was with a group of women there, and let me be fair or be clear, there are men and women there, but we had formed this little group of women that became a tight group. And we talked about what our dreams were and what our goals were. And I said, I want to write a book. I've always wanted to write a book. I've been interviewing these women for years. I just haven't put it together. And one of these women said, you're going to write a book, but it's not that book. You're going to write your story. I said, I'm not writing my story. Nobody wants to hear my story. Well, I wrote my story. She gave me somebody who could help me launch, and I did. And I had that book out. I started it in March 2020, and it was out on my 50th birthday, April 7th, 2021. And then the other dream was to start a podcast. And I knew what I wanted it to be. I wanted to elevate and empower other women because that was important to me. Because as a child, I was not elevated or empowered as a woman. In fact, my voice was not to be heard, generally speaking. And I realized early on in my life that that wasn't true for me. And it did not fit with the way I saw the world, especially after living in Europe as an exchange student in my teen years. So I started the Lead Like a Woman podcast. It's been over 3 years. We are into almost the 200s. So almost 200 episodes. And I love it so much. I get to meet the most amazing people like you and to connect and help spread stories that are empowering to other women. Well, a year ago, I came up with my new mission. And my mission is to help 1 million women own their stage by April 7th, 2030. And to do that, I have created a platform called Lead Like a Woman, SpeakHer. So it is my brand, leadlikeawoman.biz, and then SpeakHer. And what we're doing, and what I'm so excited about, is it is an online resource for women who want to learn to communicate better. Different subscription levels, different things that you can learn, different ways you can learn them and move forward. There's even a TED level. I am a TEDx coach. I coach speakers who are on the TED stage or who want to be as well. And you can even do that. You can even learn that. And you get personalized coaching. You get all sorts of things. And I'm just so excited by it. And incidentally, I've got 3 more books in that 5-book series. So I've got 2 Lead Like a Woman books out now. There's 3 more coming.
Amazing. So the books are, what's the name of the first book? Remind me.
My very first book is Stronger on the Other Side, The Power to Choose.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And then the other 2?
The other 2 are Lead Like a Woman books. The first one is Lead Like a Woman, Tales from the Trenches. The second is Lead Like a Woman, Audacity. And I'm not going to share the title of the third one. You're just going to have to wait and see. But they are all multi-author books, the Lead Like a Woman series. So they are 10 stories from 10 incredible women who've done things in their life that they are proud of to get to where they are.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, we have to, I'm so curious about this new platform. We talked about it a little bit before the show, and you were telling me that you're really the visionary, the person that has all these ideas, but now you're finding yourself being the integrator, because we start talking about processes, procedures, etc. And you go like, you don't like that.
No.
You know it's necessary, but you don't like that. You want to go A to Z to Y to C to E.
Yes.
H.
That's me.
A, B, C, D.
No. I am not a concrete sequential person. I have people who do that.
So how do you because when you come up with the idea, when you come up with a new idea, a new business, right? You're the creator, you're the visionary.
Yes.
And then you have to execute it to make it a reality, right?
You do, yeah.
So what
Not
do you
easy.
do?
Well, for me, it's been interesting. So I came up with this idea of creating SpeakHer, and really to inspire and equip women. It's to equip them with the tools and the resources they need. And it's a great idea. Yes. But how do we get from my idea to getting it out there? Well, the very first thing I did is I wrote content, and I wrote ideas, and I wrote paragraphs, and I wrote whatever I needed to write. And then I decided to search for a dev team who could take my vision, take what I was thinking, take what I wanted, and get it online. So for me, perfect is the enemy of good. As we, people mostly say, great is the enemy of good. No, perfect is the enemy of good, because I'm a perfectionist. So I am giving up perfection right now to get this thing launched. And
very smart and needed, because otherwise it's not going to get done.
It won't. So I have offloaded some of what I need done. But because I'm working with a dev team of people I've never met in person, I have to be fairly clear about what I want. I'm never very clear about what I want people to do. I'm just like, go do it. I'll be happy. Just go do it. Well, I have to remember that more prescriptive is better. So for me, I've put in a little bit of process for myself where I will review what's done. I will go and say, this is what I need. This is how I need it done. I will review that and I'll say, no, you missed this. Yes, you got this. Now we do this. So it's an if this, then that for me. And it's keeping me coloring in the lines, which I don't ever do, never have, but it's keeping me in that little box where I can tell somebody to do something else. So my next step will be to hire an EA who can help keep the content rolling, because I have spent 300, 400 hours creating content for this and getting it launched.
Wow. Well, that's a process right there. You just gave me the process. You first of all put it everything, like you wrote your ideas, your concepts, what you want. I'm sure you organize it in some way in order to actually give it to the development team, right?
I had to.
You have to. You see, that's the thing, is that if you hire a development team, if you hire an EA, an executive assistant, if you hire people that have to basically execute on what you ask them to do, it forces you to put it in such a way that can be communicated.
It does. And I have learned that's not my top skill set, and that's okay. As long as I'm getting what I need out of them. And sometimes I will be honest, it's my fault, because it'll take a little longer because I wasn't clear. I get frustrated because I go, I know I said that. I thought I did that. I wrote that. I did. And I'll go look back and I didn't. So it's important, I think, to understand for me that part of that falls on me. If I'm not clear, they don't know what to do.
Absolutely. So what are some of the tricks that you use in order to make yourself clearer?
That's a good question. Like I said, I have kind of a structure built out right now. I'll say, I need you to do this. And I will be honest as well. Sometimes they miss some of the things. Like for a number of times we were talking about landing pages. There are going to be 5 different landing pages after login. Right now there's 4 because the 5th one is coming soon. But what has happened is I had them all built. I said, this is what they look like. And I'll just put it in a Word doc. That's how I'm going to work right now. It's a Word doc or a PowerPoint. Here you go. This is what I need you to do. And they'll miss something. And it'll be a while before, or it was, let me say, a while before I noticed it was missed. So now I will go back and say, what did I ask them to do? Did they do it? Yes, you got this. No, you missed this. So for me, I had to put it into such a format for my own communication, because otherwise they can't read my mind, which is probably a good thing. But I need to be able to instruct and ask them to do things I need them to do without them reading my mind.
Absolutely. And that's where the clarity, that's really where it comes in, like, to convert it from a vision to actually being done. It's the clarity, it's the ability to communicate. I mean, it's your own voice being heard, right? Because the whole platform is about communication. What are the tools in the platform? Tell me, I'm very curious, like, what obviously you came up with the idea because you saw a need, right? What's the need that you saw that platform is going to be a solution for?
So a couple of things, and I'm going to talk to you about my need first. How about that? I know that's a little selfish, but let me explain. I love coaching speakers. I have always loved coaching speakers. I love script whispering. I call it script whispering because what I'm doing is I'm helping you put something in your own voice. Because if you write a speech online, or you write a speech in Word or something, or Google Doc, and then you go to give your speech, it sounds like you wrote it. You don't ever want to sound like you wrote it. You want to sound like it comes from your heart. So I help with that process as well. So speaker coaching and script whispering, that's where I find my passion. That is where I'm happiest. But I am one person. I am but one. There's no clones, thank God. But I need to be able to get this out to more, because I cannot handle a huge volume. And I have tried before. I've tried doing courses before where there's a bunch of people in the course. I do have a couple online courses as well. But I needed something else. I needed something where I could reach more women so I can hit that 1 million woman goal by 2031. So what I've done is I've created, it's a subscription site. And really what we have is there will be 5 levels, but there's 4 levels now. And each level builds, you get something else. You get to create a profile that showcases your expertise and your background. So people can look at you and find you. If you want to be a speaker, you'll be able to highlight your unique skills. And then there's an access to a speaker directory. There's also entry-level resources and articles. This is at the beginning, but you can enhance your leadership abilities with resources and articles, tips, strategies, best practices to improve your communication. Then there's a monthly 30-minute webinar, access to opportunities, custom content tailored to your goals. And then there will be a forum, a community forum as we move forward. So at each level builds on the other. My favorite level is called She's Illuminating. So just for reference, we have She's Rising, She's Thriving, She's Excelling, She's Illuminating, and then there will be She's Empowered or She's Empowering. I'm working on the name. But She's Illuminating, why I love it so much is you get everything from the past 3 different levels on this 4th level. Plus, you get TEDx talk, best practices, and tips and tricks. So you get access to a curated collection of these best practices, tips, and tricks, but you also get a list of TED Talks that you get to see that are handpicked to inspire and inform you, as well as visual and stage techniques specifically for TED, and you get coaching. So you will get coaching, as well as, this is the fun one, is you will also get a list of places to apply. Now, every application is different for a TEDx talk. They're all nonprofits across the nation who are supporting the TED brand. They do it their way. So it's not a one size fits all. So my team will come in and help create and enhance that application as needed. So it's my favorite because I love TED Talks. I just think they're so cool and so fun.
Totally, they totally are. It's amazing. Also, your creation. So it's definitely, there is nothing wrong with saying like what it does for you, like what need it basically satisfies for you. I mean, and then also for others, for other women that want to be connected, that want to be heard, that they want to be part of a TED Talk. Just providing those opportunities.
Yeah.
How can we reach 1 million women?
Oh, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But also through online classes. I have created a class that will be up through the platform as soon as we launch. So it is a course that has modules to help you create a signature talk, to really look at what you need in order to communicate in a better way. Now, when I say a signature talk, and when I talk about opening stories, and when I talk about connection, those are tools for communication. They are not just tools for getting on a stage, because your stage could be at a networking event with a glass of champagne in your hand, talking to somebody at a table that you don't know. Your stage could be a sales presentation to 1 person or to 10. Your stage could be a VC pitch. It doesn't matter what it is. It's communication tools that will help women rise, because women are a game changer in business. There are so many studies out there right now that show when you have women at the helm, women in leadership positions, women on your boards, those companies make more money, period.
Wow. How can our listeners find that platform?
Ooh, well, all right. It's leadlikeawoman.biz / SpeakHer. Or if you go to leadlikeawoman.biz, there's a button at the top that says SpeakHer. Now, we're still working on launching, but you are welcome to go in. And if you come in via this podcast, I will make a coupon code that I will share that will give you basically $100 off a year, $100 off a month for a year.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Andrea, for sure on that one.
Of
and
course.
I would definitely encourage our listeners to go and check it out, because it sounds like this amazing community. I mean, 1 million, just think about it. 1 million women entrepreneurs, speakers, movers and shakers, women that make a difference are going to be part of that community. And you're going to get exposure to all that power and communication, which is absolutely amazing.
Yay. I'm so excited about it. It's one of the best things I've ever done. Taking all of my skills from all of these years in business, helping create confident speakers, which is what I've done for years, and what my team has done, and taking that and really focusing on what I'm passionate about. And that is helping women rise, period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Andrea, this has been amazing to talk about your own journey as opposed to as a visionary to integrator, and really forcing yourself to put the processes there, and this new adventure, which sounds amazing. And I definitely encourage our listeners to go and check it out, because I can see it. It's a game changer. And definitely read your books. I read the first one. I'm going to read the other two.
Oh, thank you.
It is your story. It is absolutely, you definitely opened up, you basically told your story, which is amazing to be able to do that. It's very admirable.
Thank you. It took me a lot of years to realize, first, that I could be vulnerable. But second, my favorite quote that rings in my head all day long and every day is, "It's none of my business what other people think of me," because I cannot own or influence what other people think of me, and nor do I want to. I will just be me, and they can think what they want.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Well, Andrea, thank you so much. So you gave us the website. People can go there if they want to ask you any questions. I'm sure that they can contact you through the website.
Yes. And you know what? If you really need to find me, just put #lead like a woman into your search bar, and I'm the first thing that comes up. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm all over LinkedIn.
You're all over LinkedIn. You're everywhere. Absolutely. And thank you so much for being a guest on this podcast. It was great interviewing you.
Thank you for having me. What fun. I can't wait to see you in person again soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to the System Simplified podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.